All right, what is going on Facebook? If you don't know me, I'm Tony Maritato, and I am privileged to have Mike Chua here with me, actually here in Ohio in my clinic. This is the first time Mike and I are meeting face to face. Mike, say hello to everybody.
Hello, everyone. It's actually my privilege to be here in Tony's presence, the master.
So our goal was to take a couple minutes, talk about the future of physical therapy, the profession. Because I think that, how long have you been a physical therapist?
I graduated in 99, Tony, but I never practiced therapy until I came here in the States less than 10 years ago.
And how long have you been a business owner? And by business, I mean any business, not just physical therapy business.
I would say my whole life. We were selling stuff. When I came out of my mother's womb, I was already selling stuff. I was selling myself to my mom, give me some milk.
That's so true.
Oh, what's up, RV? What's going on?
All right. Hey, you're the next one. We need to connect. But anyway, it's so funny you say that because I say that all the time. Like, I was a born and raised entrepreneur. My mom came from South America. She came to the U.S. by herself. She was the first one in her family. She started a business in New York City making sample garments for pattern companies. And through that, she bought real estate. She brought the rest of her family over. And I think about myself as a kid. Like, I was that kid in the neighborhood. I would sell anything that the other kids wanted to buy. I would find candy. I would sell water. I would do whatever. Mm-hmm. I always had a business. But that being said, I know a lot of the clinicians watching this, they didn't grow up like that. They didn't have that entrepreneurial vein inside them. And so we see major changes in the profession. We see the changes to reimbursement. We see the increasing regulation. We see the challenges that we all face. And most of us got into profession because we wanted to help people, right? Like, why did you become a physical therapist in the first place?
I became a therapist because my mom told me. Our parents, the Filipino parents, they crush our dreams, right? So I wanted to be an architect. Wow. Everybody out there who wants to be an architect, and you know how Filipino moms, they will crush your dream. And my mom said, "Have you seen your drawing? Go be a therapist." So I became a therapist, Tony.
You know what's funny though? So I was in fine arts for a long time.
Oh.
You as an architect, I think, and I would love to hear what attracted you to architecture, but it's a creative process. And being a therapist is a creative process. Instead of you designing houses and buildings, you're designing rehab programs, and you're changing the person's body the same way you would be changing the structure of the home. I know for me, that's my artistic expression comes out in my plans of care, in my business creation, and everything that I do. So I do think you satisfy that niche within the world of physical therapy. But anyway, that being said, I would love to hear your perspective over the years that you've been a clinician, a business owner. How are you seeing things change? What are some of the challenges that you see therapists that want to do their job, want to treat the beneficiary, the patient, want to do the best that they can, but maybe they feel handcuffed at this point in time? Like, what are the challenges you see right now?
Well, the main challenge that we're seeing right now is obviously the mindset. The mindset that we're seeing and hearing and noticing in the actual profession. Even the students that we get, shout out to RV, when we go out and finish school, we were trained to be technicians.
Yes.
Even in therapy school in the Philippines, we have a physiatrist, and then they tell us what to do. Like, okay, 10 minutes hot pack, 20 minutes e-stim, 5 minutes ultrasound. That's it. That's what you're going to do. 10 reps of this and that. And then here we are. We're in the doctoring profession, and we're still on that mindset. And the mindset is very important, especially if you want to start your own practice. You have to change that mindset from being a technician to actually the real doctors that we were made to be, which is, the creative process of recovery and rehab. So I think that's for me, that's right. That's the main thing, the mindset, the limitations that we put in our minds, that we can only serve this specific client in this specific procedure. So we need to open up our minds in not only in the therapy world, but also in opening our mind, in opening our own side hustle and businesses, and we were just talking about this earlier, Tony.
Right.
You know, providing telehealth. You know, sending your therapy assistant, well, during doing the telehealth. And here we are trying to go to that patient's house where you can send your therapy team, and then you're there in one location. Obviously, follow your rule, like the 60-mile radius thing, and still, you know, seeing patients in that area. So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I want to know, we always talk about, as therapists, one of the most important things we deliver to our patient. We deliver strength, we deliver independence, we deliver freedom, autonomy, resilience. We want them to be strong so that they can face the challenges that they're going to have, whether the patient has Parkinson's or a neurologic condition or an orthopedic condition. As clinicians, obviously we face those challenges as well. So I know I'm out there, I teach physical therapists, occupational therapists, speech therapists how to become Medicare providers, how to get that side hustle going so that they have that little bit of independence, so they know if the next pandemic comes across, all of a sudden they get laid off, well, they can go start treating their own patients tomorrow. You do some really cool stuff, and one of the things that I wanted to do was talking to the students that might be watching. If I was a student coming out of school, graduating in the next 6 to 12 months, I would have a plan in place. Not just what job I want to get, but also how am I going to build that strength, resilience, independence within my career, within my financial security. Tell me about the program that you teach with the dementia certification and kind of how does that all work?
It's funny, but before I go to that certified dementia thing, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing right now, having a team of therapists. Shout out to our Jerihab people, you know, PTs and PTAs. I won't be able to do what I'm doing without Tony's guidance, okay? Yeah. So Tony really helped me, ladies and gentlemen, how to start this thing. And I won't be able to bill Medicare directly if without his classes or course that he guided me. And it's just amazing. So if you still want to start your side hustle, you got to get his course, learnmedicarebilling.com. Because when I got fired, that's the thing that I got. And good thing I had it, and that way I'm doing this right now. Okay, so going back to Tony's question about my dementia thing, you got to find something that can also add source of income. You got to find that niche that you're serving. So in my case, it's always about Alzheimer's and dementia. So in my head, okay, I'm seeing Alzheimer's and dementia patients. We might as well teach a class about Alzheimer's and dementia. So that's what I'm doing. I'm teaching a class called the Alzheimer's Disease and Dementia Care Seminar. It's a certification class that we're in, you know, it's a certification course or class. It's approved by a certain council called the National Council of Certified Dementia Practitioner. And we also make money out of it too, where we certify people, nursing homes, assisted livings, therapists like you, if you want to be certified. And, you know, I teach that class and I make money there too doing that. So sometimes you just have to open up your eyes on the skills that you have right now and then create it as a book, create it as a PowerPoint, and then you teach other people. That's what Tony's doing. You know, he has this experience in Medicare, credentialing or whatever, and he created as a course, and now we're buying his course, right? And same thing with me, you know, it's Alzheimer's and dementia. We created it as a book, as a course, and now I'm teaching it. So whatever experience that you have, so for example, about knee, if you have any problems with or you had experience with knees or hip replacement, just write it as a book and create it as a PowerPoint and start selling it like what Tony's doing.
Which of course takes us to Jeremy Sutton.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The guy behind every book. But when we're looking at the dementia certification, because this is one of those things that we've discussed before a few times, therapists that are doing mobile therapy right now, if you don't know what mobile therapy is, I was genuinely shocked when I talked to a therapist yesterday who had no idea what mobile therapy was. She thought it was straight Part A home health. And so we use the language mobile PT, but still we're just a tiny, tiny community. The majority don't know what mobile PT is. So if you're a mobile therapist, you're thinking about going into the home, whether it's under Medicare Part B or a self-pay service, I think one of the greatest things is to have these add-ons, like the dementia, so that I could not just provide the covered services that Medicare is paying for, but I could also provide self-pay services that are not covered by Medicare. So if I'm going to go to a home, instead of a 60-minute session, I might be there for 4 hours. Part of that is companion care. Part of that is doing things related to the dementia certification that you teach. Part of that is conventional therapy, whether it's OT, PT, speech. And what we see is that rather than me driving from one house to another house to another house to another house, I stay with one house. And we certainly know that there's individuals, there's families that it's well worth $800, $1,000 to have somebody at the highest level of the profession stay with somebody that they genuinely care about, who they realize, the adult son of the patient realizes, my mom needs some extra help. My mom is not safe to be with a standard aide, or I've got an aide that needs extra training. I imagine the people who take your program would be able to do some of those things.
It's funny you mentioned that. So in the class that I teach, ladies and gentlemen, hey, watch out. Hello, Michael, Matt, and Jewel, what's going on? So it's funny, that class that I teach, I actually teach you how to also market yourself in your community, because it's not just a regular CEU class. It's also like a business class, like what Tony's doing on this Medicare thing. It's not just teaching you, okay, go click this, go to, add this, whatever, case, whatever. He also teaches, I still watch his recordings, you need to go to a class where it teaches you the art of the business. There's this, when you go attend a class, there's this whatever you call this, the art of speaking and the business of speaking. And same thing with therapy. There's this art of therapy and the business of therapy. So we already know the art of therapy. We already know how to serve and take care and heal a patient, do the range of motion. But the thing is, we don't know the business of therapy. And we need to open up our minds in doing this business of therapy. So when we do the dementia thing, yes, I bill Medicare 4 units, but on top of what Tony said, we also charge cash. So we have several patients who are paying us cash right now just for the services that we provide on top. So for example, let's just say, for example, Medicare, we reached the quote-unquote cap or whatever you want to call that, and the patient still wants to continue the services. We charge them extra on top of that. We have like 2 patients right now, they're just paying cash because they just want that personal training that they receive from my PTAs. And it's obviously it's not cheap. It's $150 per visit, but still, you're providing that extra service. Now, here's the thing. This is where Tony and I were just brainstorming. We as business owners who owns the dementia facility, like in my case, Jerry have, you can train your techs to be dementia caregivers and provide that services too. And then boom, you can charge cash. You pay your techs to do that, and then charge whatever amount for that client. Obviously, not all will pay for that, but if you just find that specific group of people, we have like a patient right now. Me and my PTA were just talking about it. We have the patient for 3 years now. 3 years, he's seeing them for I think 2 or 3 times a week, cash straight up, and that patient has never been to the hospital. Obviously, they've got advanced dementia, but the family is just happy that they're receiving continued training, personal training with my PTA Blake. So.
And I think it helps so much to understand what is a covered service under Medicare, what does require a Medicare claim be submitted versus what is not a covered service. Non-covered wellness, certainly there's covered maintenance, non-covered maintenance, but it does. I think it when I have the opportunity to talk to students, one of the main things that I try to convey is that we have a shifting paradigm. We're changing the model of what it used to be, where we used to only provide what insurance would cover. And now, no, you are a professional. You're a doctor of physical therapy. You can see beyond the scope of what insurance will cover. And within that, you can make those recommendations about lifestyle changes, about home modifications, about safety. And having something like a dementia certification, establishing yourself in a community as an expert in something, opens more doors and allows more individuals to come seek your guidance, seek your advice, seek your services, because we are the ultimate best problem solvers. You know, there really is. Like, while maybe we can't do a surgery, I think that we can see the big picture. That's the real value in therapy, is that we listen to the story, we spend the time, we can see the big picture of what the patient needs, what the family influences are, the psychosocial factors, the economic factors. I mean, there's just so much in there. And so the future of therapy, I think, is moving us away from a technician role, because that really is. When I'm treating a patient, I'm in the role of a technician, which is fun. I love it. That's part of why I became a therapist. I want to interact. I want to, connect. But I can't really expect to command the kind of reimbursement and salary of a therapist when I'm in the role of a technician. And the technician mindset is, well, if I want to make more, I need to do more, right? If I get paid by the brick, I need to lay more bricks. That's the goal. But the role of the professional is, how do I create the solution for the problem? And I want to solve bigger problems. If I want to earn $1 billion, I help 1 billion people. Like, that is, and when I just did a great talk for the students at St. Augustine, I looked at the APTA vision for 2020, and then I looked at the current vision, and it's a much, much larger, broader vision. And to achieve that, we need to think bigger, and so that's why I love having this guy here, because this guy has inspired so many people, myself included, that, we really put our clinical brains to work on solving bigger problems. We're going to get there. And so, Mike, before we wrap it up, because I want to be respectful of your time, is there anything else that you wanted to mention?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for watching. And then, of course, I just want to thank Tony. I already told this when we were in the car. I said, Tony, thank you very much for everything that you do. You just don't know how you changed my life. And the things that you're doing here in the Medicare group, you're not only changing me, you've changed a lot of therapists out there. And you've also changed not just the therapists, but also their patients. Because the more people that we help find their alternative career or side hustle, whatever you want to call it, the more people we're going to change.
Yeah.
Don't be selfish, my friends. Whether you're a therapist, PT, OT, or assistant, don't be selfish and just keep yourself to this realm of whatever. Whether it be home health or insurance or nursing home, you got to get out of your comfort zone, my friends. And that's the only way you're going to achieve your next level. Tony, we were just talking about it. He said, I had to get out of my comfort zone. I got to do this. Not just for himself, but also for his kids and family. And same thing with me. I'm doing this not just for me and my family. Do you want to leave money or do you want to leave legacy? Money is always there. So leave a legacy, my friends. And that's what Tony's doing. We were just talking about what's his plan for his websites, what's his plan for the clinic and everything. Are you leaving money or are you leaving legacy to your family, to your friends in your community? So again, Tony, thank you very much for whatever you're doing here in the group. Thank you very much. But Tony, I'm going to highlight.
All right, guys, if you're not already following Mike Chua, I can't believe you wouldn't be, but go ahead and check him out. I tagged him in the original post, and we're going to go out and have some fun. I'll catch you guys later.